doing another very important interview with another very important person at the Vodafone Warriors, the under-20s coach, Tony Oro. So, Tony, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
I'm a Kiwi, born in Auckland to a Cook Island father and a Kiwi mum. So brought up in East Auckland and Glen Innes, famous little town, I think. You know, we've brought Logan Swan out of there, Richie Barnett, Sean Hoppy, and my brother and I. So, yeah, there's a few Kiwi players get around there. And
you obviously went on to a rugby league career. Where did you start? And just a quick insight of where you ended up and what you did.
Yeah, well, I started playing league when I was 4 for the Mount Wellington Warriors. Went to rugby union when I hit secondary school, but soon got convinced that league was the game to go back to. Played a couple of years in England for the Wigan side and had about 4 or 5 clubs in Australia as well. So started with Manly, Roosters, dabbled with a few clubs over Super League and finished up with a year at the Rabbitohs before I came home.
When you finished your rugby league career, what did you have as an ambition to do post-rugby league? What were your thoughts of what you were going to do for the rest of your life?
I had no idea, to be honest. So I went out and bought a bread run because I had 2 young kids under 5. I wanted to spend as much time as I could with them. So I did that for 3 years. And I was lucky enough to be asked to come and do some work at the Warriors. So here I am.
So now you've been at the Warriors for a couple of years. How did you get involved in doing stuff with the development and obviously the NYC team, the under-20s?
Well, actually, Tony Kemp came and asked me to give him a hand with the NRL side back in 2004. Fortunately, I was lucky to stick around after that, and the club offered me the development role. I think at that stage, the club had sort of neglected that area for a couple of years, and I was keen to get involved with those young players. So, yeah, 2005, we started a bit more of a comprehensive development program, looking at players not just in Auckland and around New Zealand, and that's just graduated to where we were lucky enough to have an under-20 comp this year, first year for the Toyota Cup in the NRL comp, and you know it's worked really good and given us an opportunity to test our boys against the Australians' best.
Your relationship with Dean Bell, our first captain at the Warriors, and a lot of other people involved in not only developing the players on the field but off the fields. What are some of the things that the guys are learning and obviously trying to get used to before they hit the NRL?
Yeah, well, the NRL were keen to bring the Toyota Cup only if there were some certain rules and regulations governing what the players did. So they're not full-time paid players, they're Toyota Cup players, so they have to be involved in either education or work. They do get a lot of welfare information too in terms of how they behave on and off the field. So, you know, the NRL's been really careful that the players are hopefully going to leave the clubs better than when they came in. So, you know, we encourage our boys to either be studying. You know, study isn't for everyone, so most of our boys are working with sympathetic employers who are happy to employ them, knowing that there are going to be some limitations on when the boys can work, and especially with the travel every 2 weeks. So we've been really lucky in that regard, and that we've had a lot of sponsor support, a lot of employer support to help the boys through. Although it's a great opportunity for these guys, most of them aren't going to make the NRL at the end of the day, so we need to be making sure they're looking after themselves after footy as well.
The challenges of the New Zealand Warriors is travelling to Australia every second week. How have you tried to deal with that, and how do you think the boys have, you know, gone about it this season?
Yeah, well, initially we thought that was going to be a bit of a problem for us, but you know, we set down some real hard ground rules at the start of the year. You know, no going out, no leaving the hotel, no alcohol. So, and they've really embraced that, and you know, touch wood, you know, nothing's gone wrong so far. I think actually the travel's probably helped us as a team to do a bit of bonding and get together, get to know each other. A lot of the Sydney clubs in the Toyota Cup have to travel to games on the same day, so it probably has worked out to an advantage for us to be sticking together and going to Australia every week. And at the same time, we're learning to be professionals. Hopefully will help them in their NRL careers.
We've got a few guys that are going to be over the age of 20 for next season. Is that going to be a challenge for the team going forward, and for you guys to obviously recruit, but as well for the guys that are going to be still there, knowing that this season they've been able to experience what the under-20s is about and help the new guys coming in? It's
worked out quite well this year. Probably a third of the squad are unavailable for next year. A third of them have got 1 more year, and a third of them have got 2 more years. So that was probably a bit of a fluke on our behalf, but we think that's probably a good way for the squad to be working. So, you know, we've always got a core bloke of guys who have got that experience from the previous year, and also a group of guys who can take over, in years to come. So we've got a big development squad under our under-20s now, looking for that next group of players to come in. We've almost got our NYC squad sorted for 2009 and probably almost for 2010 as well. So obviously there's going to be spots available for that special kid, but we're trying to plan ahead and get that squad ready to go when we hit pre-season training in November.
Have you seen in New Zealand at the grassroots level an excitement because of the new under-20s competition, and kids can actually see that they've got an opportunity to have a stepping stone into the NRL through this competition, whether it be at the Warriors or any other Sydney team?
Yeah, well, certainly had a lot more inquiries from players wanting to either come back from Australia and be a part of it, or a lot of coaches are now ringing us saying that they've got players who they think they can cut it in the competition. So the fact that we can offer something to them now, the fact that a lot of Kiwi parents want their boys to stay around here anyway, gives us a bit of an advantage in our recruitment. But we've still got to be really careful. I was down at the secondary school comp in Wellington last week, and there were 7 NRL clubs down there. So we've got to be on our toes, and we just got to be hope that we can do the right job and do the right thing by the boys, and that's a club that Kiwis want to play for.
All right, Tony, well, all the best, mate, next year and the rest of this year, and hopefully things are going to go fantastic for the development of the club and we'll be as strong as ever going forward. That's Tony Oro, the under-20s coach. Another great interview with another great person at the Vodafone Warriors.